What's one moment you can never think about without laughing? The time I kiddingly told my 70-year-old mom to stop being such a *******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************I also sent a big hug and proceeded to pee her pants too so my mom wouldn't feel so embarrassed. Those gals just stood there hugging and laughing and puddling up my driveway. My favorite memory. Your aunt is the MVP. Most valuable peer. Road rage incident. Both parties got out and yelled. Party number one reached into his car to grab something. All he had was an empty styrofoam cup. He chucked it as hard as he could at party number two. It made it about a foot out of his hand before the wind launched it the opposite direction about 30 feet behind the initial throw. That's the kinda rage where you're like, I wanna beat you up so bad by throwing something at you that I'll even stoop as low as a styrofoam cup. Seriously funny. I saw a middle-aged woman on a Segway lose control of her Segway and run straight into a traffic light. That traffic light really said, the light was red, lady. In 6th grade, a kid came in wearing an inappropriate shirt. Nobody noticed it until the teacher made a weird yelling noise, marched him out into the hallway, yelled at him while he just smiled at her. Then she made him turn his shirt inside out and apologized to the rest of us for inappropriate clothing. We were still wondering what was going on when they came back into the room, and he stood in front of us and said, I'm sorry for doing this to you poor people. I'll never do it again. Without a hint of sincerity. Someone asked, what did it say? By that point we'd pieced together it was something about his shirt. He said, very seriously, 63 Earths fit inside Uranus. 64 if you relax. About 30 seconds later, everyone started laughing and we didn't stop for at least an hour. It's a science fact. What's wrong in this? As a cashier at a home decor shop, I failed twice to superglue an antler back on a moose statue. I'd wait, then let it go, and it'd droop and fall off because it was too heavy. My manager lost patience with me, announced that he was the best at supergluing beep and he would show me how it was done, then stood there for like 20 minutes holding this moose. Then he said, see, look at this, and let it go. The antler instantly started drooping, so I opened my mouth to say, I told you so. But before I could say anything, he shouted, no, and tried to grab the statue, which just resulted in him karate chopping the other antler off with his bare hand in one decisive motion. I couldn't even say, I told you so. After that, I was laughing too hard to stand up. #KARAT #edit. I have my followers. How do you make your text like that? We had just finished eating dinner on vacation and my mom's boyfriend thought it would be funny to play a burping sound on his phone. He forgot that his phone was still hooked up to his radio, though, resulting in the sound of a colossal belch being broadcast across the entire beach. The next thing we heard was my aunt yelling at my brother, thinking he was the one who produced the burp. My mom's boyfriend nearly fell out of his chair laughing. I can imagine music on the beach and then just #BURGHHHHHH. My dad has always been an avid pot smoker. After he recovered from COVID-19, he had to lay off smoking for a while, so instead he tried baking pot brownies for the first time. When they were finished he told me that he wasn't sure how strong they'd be. 2 hours after he and I eat some, I noticed that he's singing the alphabet to himself. That's amazing. Rolling on the floor laughing. My dad was replacing the shower door in my parents' room with one of the more modern heavy glass doors. He finished it and was gripping the edge of the stabilizing wall with his fingers in the doorway. He goes, all right there, and slams the door shut onto his fingers real hard. He just looks up at me and goes, oh hi, I'm Mr. Stupid Man, in a Jim Carrey voice as he grips his already blackening fingers. That was his genuine reaction to the pain. No yelps, just that LMAO. LMAO. This sounds exactly like something my dad would say. He passed away 10 years ago, but the humor in the memories never leaves. I'm so glad they left you with such good memories. I moved into my first own flat. My partner helped me set up my closet and my bed. While setting up the furniture we noticed the walls and floors were uneven at best. Eventually, we went to bed, talked about the day, and I said, at least the bed is stable. I moved just a tiny bit, and the bed came apart, with me rolling onto the floor. I never real life ruffled ever again. Still one of our favorite stories. You really did roll on the floor, laugh with help from the bed. In my old school we didn't have Halloween and someone told my friend that we could go in costume in October 31st. The day arrives and my friend came dressed as a banana. Yes, a bee banana. In recess he tried to play soccer and fell. Everybody couldn't stop laughing. He was known as Banana Boy for the rest of the year. Never heard of October 31st. I dunno, I feel like New Year's Eve is just going to roll into December 32nd, 2020. When I was younger, I used to write a lot of fan fiction. My English was not what it is these days. At some point, when at my dad's, I said I didn't know how to continue my story. So my dad asked, do you have a writer's block? In Dutch, a writing pad is called a schrijfblok. So I thought he was referring to my medium, so I very seriously answered, no, just loose copy papers. Dad was quiet for a few seconds and then burst out laughing, understanding my mix-up. It's really funny now I know what a writer's block is. My boyfriend had some friends over to our place to play board games one night, and we were all carrying on being silly and enjoying each other's company as we usually do. The house we shared with friends was often full of people. Sometimes not everyone knew everyone else, but the vibe was chill, so no one was ever too bothered by this. We also only locked the door at night when bedtime rolled around, because people were in and out of the house a lot. This particular night, the front door swings open, and a little wiener dog runs in the door, and right behind the dog was this stoned-looking dude I didn't recognize. He kicks off his shoes at the door like we all do, and waves, and heads to the kitchen. I thought, he's been here before I guess. My friend Max, who had the identical-looking dog, was making the weirdest face. As the new guy walked by me, I said, oh, do you know Max? He laughed and said, yeah, and kept walking into the kitchen. Max looked at me, and was like, I don't know that dude at all. By this time, the rest of us were all sorta consulting each other, and no one seemed to know who this guy was. A couple of us followed him to the kitchen. He opens the fridge, takes out the milk, and starts drinking it right from the carton, all the while being friendly and looking like he knows his way around perfectly. His dog and Max's dog are happily chasing each other around the room, playing as if they know each other, adding to the weirdness. Eventually, I ask him, hey, how do you know Max? Dude busts out laughing as if he cannot believe I'm asking this question and says, dude, Max is my dog. We all look at the new wiener dog, then we look at this guy, then we look at our friend Max. There is a moment of weird silence, and this dude says, I think I have the wrong house. He puts the milk back, calls his dog, puts his shoes back on, and stumbles back outside with a wave. Turns out his friend's house was a few down the block and he drunkenly walked into ours instead, because the door was unlocked. We were all so stunned, and any time someone tells this story, we still will laugh our beep off anytime anyone says, dude, Max is my dog. A friend of my ex's was staying with us for a weekend a few years back. She went out for a midnight stroll and accidentally entered the wrong building coming back. I guess the people who lived in apartment L in that building weren't too keen on locking their doors, because she just walked right into their apartment.